Today we're looking back at the MVPs of October. This is a monthly series in which at the beginning of each month, I look back at the previous month and see who was WWE's MVP of said previous month. So right now we're in November, so we're looking back at October. So you gotta put this in perspective. Even though Crown Jewel just happened over the weekend, that was November 2nd. So anything that happened at Crown Jewel is not in play. So let's get started with October. Who was the male and the female MVPs? The males could have been a couple people. Now, we did have Bad Blood at the beginning of October. I know it seems like a million years ago, but yeah, it happened. So I'll give an honorable mention to CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, who put their bodies and souls on the line because that match was awesome. If I had to put a match of the month, that would be it. That's your MVP match of the month. However, after the match was over, they kind of went away, which is very understandable and totally legit. I'm not saying anything bad about that. However, going away does not make you the MVP. So, who else could it be? Jimmy Uso was definitely a contender because throughout the entire month, he was putting back together the bloodline, the original bloodline. It's not Roman Reigns, it's not even Paul Heyman, it's Jimmy Uso making the call and putting the old bloodline back together. So that was really cool to see Jimmy stepping up. So contender for MVP, but not MVP. Jey Uso, also a contender, because while he did lose his Intercontinental title, losing a match doesn't necessarily mean you're disqualified from being the most important person, because he was kind of the focal point of putting back the original bloodline, because that's who Jimmy had to get. And Jey Uso jumping between brands, having a huge Intercontinental title match, best-selling merchandise. He topped the charts last month as well. So a lot of reasons to put Jey on as the MVP, because again, he is just like, he's the spotlight. He's literally overshadowing Roman Reigns sometimes. So Jey coming back into the fold almost put him on the list. And he had one in particular moment that was just like jaw-dropping amazing when he was talking to Solo in the ring, and then he said, and if this guy doesn't stop looking at me like he is right now, referring to Jacob Fatu, it was like, oh my God, I didn't know I wanted to see this, but now I gotta see this. And Jacob Fatu, he starts grilling him, and it's just like this moment. It was a moment. And then Solo calmed it all down. So yeah, very close to being the MVP. And you know what? I'm gonna MVP a couple moments here. Jacob Fatu gets the MVP moments of the month when he not only had that moment with Jey, but then he had a moment with Braun Breaker as well. It's like this dude is so intense, just standing there, when he gets in the face of anyone, it becomes a moment. But your MVP, your male MVP of WWE for the month of October, Solo Sikoa. Wow, this dude, I thought he was done. Literally, I thought it was over. How can they recover? And yet they did such a phenomenal job of Solo Sikoa losing the main event at Bloodline. Losing it, completely being just yesterday's news. The Temu Bloodline, completely done, written off, to suddenly, slowly, week by week, showing character growth, actually becoming interesting, actually becoming, dare I say, must-see TV. Solo Sikoa. I don't know what happened, but when he got pinned at Bloodline, something woke up with this dude, and now he is just phenomenal. I cannot wait for Solo Sikoa to come on my TV and say, yeet, 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 or I bought tickets, I got a shirt, me, to the Motor City Machine Guns. Oh my God. Solo Sikoa really stepped out and stepped up. And a lot of people have said, oh, he's always had it in him. Well, he hasn't always shown it. But now, right now, Solo Sikoa is showing it. This is what made us fall in love with Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief. The moment Roman started really showcasing his personality, and when Roman became a meme, that's when we started loving Solo. And Solo, these things that he's doing, I can see him being meme worthy right now. Solo Sikoa is doing so good, and he did win at Crown Jewel, but I'm not even including his win at Crown Jewel because, again, that's in November. But throughout the entire month, this dude was a phoenix. He went from losing to Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, his third huge loss, to just being so, I don't know, animated. His character just flushed out all of a sudden. This Solo Sikoa is the Solo Sikoa that I want to see. I'm kind of interested in him fighting Roman again. I have not been really thinking of Roman and Solo in a fight for a very long time. Jacob Fatu has been the most interesting member of the bloodline, but not anymore. Solo and Jacob are back to just be neck and neck interesting characters, and that's okay. Jey Uso and Roman Reigns, neck to neck, being interesting characters. I want the bloodline to be full of interesting characters. So for Jacob Fatu to be an equal to Solo, that's perfectly okay. But before, Jacob Fatu was overshadowing Solo. But this month, not so much. Solo Sikoa has stepped into the bloodline tribal chief role, and I am just loving it. And yeah, MVP all the way, Solo Sikoa, going from complete loser has-been to your tribal chief of a bloodline that is an actual threat. No longer do I see this as the Temu bloodline. I am actually seeing Solo's bloodline as a definitive next generation bloodline. Kind of like when Triple H took over DX. It was different. His DX was different, but it was a valid DX that was a credible threat to the entire WWE universe, and that's what Solo has now become to me. He is your MVP of October, and I hope it continues. I really hope this continues. And good signs that it will is that they did just win in November Crown Jewel. Hopefully, let's see, can he go 2 months in a row as your MVP? We'll discuss that in December. And the MVPs of this channel are literally you guys and you gals. No joke, you're the MVPs. If I was doing this channel and nobody was watching, nobody was commenting, nobody was subscribing, well then I'd probably still do it, but I wouldn't do it as much. But seriously, who would I be doing the videos for? So if you weren't there, these videos wouldn't get done. So you literally are the MVPs. And to, I don't know, reward you or bribe you, I'm going to give away this belt when I hit 10,000 MVPs, 10,000 subscribers. And how will I determine the winner of said MVP subscribers? Well, comments. Those who comment are entered into a contest. Once I hit 10,000 subscribers, I'm going to pick someone at random. So please, please, please help me become a full-time YouTuber and maybe help me get a new AC unit because, ooh, buddy, I'm hot. That's why I'm wearing the Kane shirt, actually, because it's just so freaking hot in here. I figured I might as well match. But regardless, please comment below. I'd greatly appreciate it. And yeah, let's talk next MVP. I'm going to do something that I've never done before on this channel, but an NXT MVP. Okay, so for the first time ever, I'm going to do an NXT MVP. I wanted to put Tony D'Angelo because he actually, in a very good storyline that was reminiscent of Rocky, it was so funny, his storyline, he actually overcame and toppled one of my personal favorites, Oba Femi, which I was not pleased about, and they did it, and even though I don't necessarily agree with Oba Femi losing, they did it in a way that I can kind of get behind at least, and say, alright, they got the title off Oba Femi, they got it on somebody who can use a push, and the Tony D'Angelo character is actually really funny and really good. He's like an old school gangster, which shouldn't work and yet does. And they modeled it after the Rocky storyline, when Rocky loses and he loses all his confidence. And so, anyways, he's able to take the North American title off Obafemi. The plus is now Obafemi is free to come to the main roster. And so you're probably thinking, Tony D'Angelo, he's your MVP. It's Trick Williams. Trick Williams is the NXT champion, right? He just got it back. He won it back in the month of October from Ethan Page. So there's a good reason right there for him to be your MVP. But what really cemented it is this guy has been doing some music videos low-key. He's kind of better than Joe Hendry. Go out and Google Trick Williams Reverend Devon music video. That is so amazing. Oh my God. If they really play up this music video thing, they're not going to really need Joe Hendry. This is the second Trick Williams music video that I've seen, and it's better. Now, to be fair, Joe Hendry, he does all of his own stuff. So, you know, Trick, he has the whole WWE machine behind him, but I don't care. Better is better, and Trick's music videos are so good and so better. So I'm going to give it to Trick Williams. Not only did he win his title back, and he is the top dog on NXT, but his music videos are making him very, very interesting, very, very entertaining. And the MVP of the women's division, I was almost very much considering Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green has been so great and wonderful in the women's division. She is like a gem. She is a hidden gem of the women's division, a low-key MVP, but not the MVP runner-up. I really wanted to give it to her because, just so much. She just put so much into her little bit of airtime. If she has 5 minutes of airtime, every single second is going to count. And she had that great dumpster match at the beginning of October, which is a very rare non-title women's feud that she had. She lost, but who cares? All I remember is Chelsea Green in the dumpster, not who won the match. I remember Chelsea Green. Also, Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, they could have been a contender. They might have been a contender, but their feud has kind of slowly lost steam. In the beginning of the month at Bad Blood, there was a huge botch that kind of overshadowed and made their match forgettable in that, I don't know, there was a disqualification because the ref saw Raquel Rodriguez, who was supposed to be not seen, but okay, we're over it, right? But after that, they didn't really have too many confrontations, and when they did, it just, I don't know, it was part of the larger storyline of the Crown Jewel Championship, which Liv Morgan was all about. She was very much a prominent figure throughout, so she was a very well-deserving MVP, but she's also the runner-up. She's probably actually more of a runner-up than Chelsea Green because Liv Morgan definitely has an argument that she should be MVP because even though Rhea Ripley actually got a real-life injury, they used Liv Morgan as the storyline reason to write off Rhea Ripley. So there you have another storyline reason why Liv Morgan is just the beast of the women's division, the best of the women's division. But I am going to just edge her out just a little bit, and crown new MVPs for the first time ever. The tag team champions, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, are the MVPs of October. It's a tie. I figure we can do a tie because it's a tag team. So if you're in a tag team, I'm going to allow you to actually be co-MVPs. Only then. I'm not going to ever do like Cody and Roman. They're your MVPs. No, one person has to be an MVP over another if they're singles, but if they're tag teams, they can be together. And the reason why I'm putting Bianca and Jade together is because they were all over the place. Liv Morgan was all over the place too, except for Jade though and Bianca. They were on NXT, Raw, SmackDown, almost every week. They have single-handedly, double-handedly, because they're a tag team, they have made the women's division, tag team division, important. The women's tag team division has meant nothing from almost day one. Maybe day two have meant almost next to nothing, and that's no shade on previous title holders, but Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, they wear it with such pride, with such gusto, that it just has elevated not just them, not just the tag belts, but the entire tag team division, and that was on showcase throughout the month of October. On Raw, you had Iyo Sky and Kairi Sane. On SmackDown, you had Chelsea Green, who I already talked about, just amazing work there. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. And then we also had NXT hopefuls Lash Legend and Shakira Jackson. And they were wrestling everybody. I think they wrestled every single person, and it was amazing. They did such a good job. They were elevating the rookies on NXT. They were hanging with Chelsea Green, who is just an all-star. They were going toe-to-toe with the brilliance of the in-ring ability of Iyo Sky and Kairi Sane. Just amazing, amazing work. And they did it with smiles, and just they can go on the mic. They look like $1,000,000. They do a really good job in the ring. And you can say all day long, oh, Bianca's carrying Jade Cargill. I don't care. They looked good as a tag team. They look good. They feel like an actual tag team. The only thing they're missing is a name for their tag team, but who cares? That's a minor point right now. They have elevated those tag team divisions so high that we are now seeing others benefit because they are just in a program with them. They are the center of the women's tag team division, and six wrestlers were caught in their orbit and got the shine from them. And not just any six, two of them are complete rookies. Lash Legend and Shakira Jackson probably learned so much by being able to hop from Raw to SmackDown to NXT. It is amazing what they did. From in-ring storytelling to building the future, WWE has done such a good job with Jade and Bianca, and those two took the ball and have ran with it. They, without a doubt, are just so amazing. And yeah, Liv Morgan could have 100% been with them, but I really do feel that the MVP should be elevating other people and other divisions. And Liv Morgan, while she did elevate Raquel Rodriguez, and you could probably say Dominic Mysterio some, that's about it. While Jade and Bianca elevated six people. So, hey, Morgan has gotten this MVP more than anybody else. It's time for someone else to get it. And I just feel that Jade and Bianca just did an amazing job throughout the entire month of October, really putting a complete division on the map. The women's division is more important than the men's division. Now, the Motor City Machine Guns did win, and I'm very hopeful for the men's tag team titles. I'm hoping that they see what you can do in the women's division and let that spill out into the men's division on saying, hey, you know what? Tag teams can elevate people. So let's have it done. Let's use the women's division as an example on how to elevate others. That is so crazy to me that I'm saying that, because for the most part, throughout all of wrestling history, the women's division has always been kind of like, I don't know, an afterthought. But when it comes to the tag team division, no, they should be at the forefront of what we're thinking about and what we're trying to mimic here, because they have done just such a good job, and they 100% deserve to be the MVPs of WWE in October's women division. What did you guys think? Who did you think should be the MVP of last month? Remember, only October 1st to October 31st. Nothing else matters. You can't talk anything about SummerSlam. You can't talk anything about Crown Jewel. It has to be in that time frame. And look back, think back, and tell me if I'm wrong, if there's someone else who deserves to be MVP or even honorable mention. And yeah, I would appreciate it. You guys, you gals, have a great day.